In your opinion, what is the role of a network in this industry?
It's a good question, and most people I know who are DA will come to me and say, "What's the point of a network apart from stripping some of our income off?" And I think it's two or threefold. So I mean, I'll give you a couple of examples. So we've had somebody recently who joined us, and then after they joined us, we got notified by a lender that they actually were removing them from panel because of what went on at their previous network. We had a jolly good look at it. We were very happy if the person wasn't complicit in any way, and we felt that to a certain extent, had their previous home done a few more checks a bit earlier on in the process, rather than most networks check files when they're kind of, dead and buried and paid up and gone, it would have been spotted. So we went back to the lender, we gave them an idea of an enhanced compliance regime that we would impose for a 6-month period, and we agreed with them that after that, we'd share the data with them, and if they were happy with the quality, they would reinstate, and we got them reinstated. So that's one very obvious example. Now, I'm not saying every network doesn't do that, but again, it was a very nice open conversation between all parties, and we've won quite a few business quality awards, Legal and General a few times, and various other people. So I think as a business, we're generally seen as being pretty compliant and pretty good about what we do. And again, that's that transparency thing again. So I think that's number one. Number two is distribution, which I think I've talked about already. And I suppose number three is purely simply letting advisors focus on advising. I said earlier about taking, one of our first steps is to employ someone in compliance, as well as support. Advisors are highly skilled people. I've never, looking at it from a simplistic perspective, if I had two people working for me, if I ran a plumbing business and I had one person who was a plumber and someone else who was an apprentice, I would not get the plumber to be carrying pipes from the van into the house if the apprentice was also there. It makes no sense. And again, in mortgage world, you should let each person do what they're very good at. Many mortgage advisors, aren't terribly good at admin. They're probably better than they once were, but they're not terribly good at it because they tend to be salespeople, and salespeople are very nice about good at talking to customers and explaining complicated things simply, but somehow they don't tend to be very good at paperwork. Probably rather better than they used to be, but not that great. So why not let somebody else take hold of that side of things? What does the regulator think? The regulator thinks that the advisor should be giving the advice. The regulator doesn't have a strong opinion on who produces the mortgage illustrations. Yeah, with many lenders, they're happy for an administrator to submit the application because the advice has been given by someone authorised, and the other bit's seen as an admin task. Going into where we're going now with, the likes of Lendex and Mortgage Apply and lots of straight through systems, we've got a virtual advisor system ourselves, which is probably, has elements of a Habito model about it. Actually, the important bit in that section is the advice bit. All the rest is administration. So you don't need to have, frankly, a highly trained and highly expensive person doing that bit of the job. It doesn't make any sense. So that's what we try to do as a network. So you mentioned earlier, if we have an advisor join us and then suddenly say, I'm getting a bit busy, but can I justify 18, 20, 25, whatever it may be, cost of getting a good experienced administrator? We'll say, well, fine, we've got some spare capacity. You can effectively share one of our admins. And if you're taking 25% of their capacity, you pay them 25% of their salary. We don't make money out of it, but it's a very easy, cheap way of people getting extra support. And that's the kind of thing that I think a network should be able to do. We are weird, I've said that before, because we're a hybrid. So we're both a DA, mortgage brokerage, and a network. But that means consequently we can offer both bits. So we as a network can offer you a locum advisor if we've got someone off sick who's COVID positive at the moment. Happily, they're not terribly well, but obviously they're mainly spending their days sleeping. We're able to just drop a locum in for them, and they know that their business will carry on as if they were still there. And that's the kind of thing a good network should be doing, in my opinion. And often, if you're a one-man band DA firm, you're going to struggle with that.
Yeah, most definitely.